And moving on from teaching the gymnast how to swing in gloves and loops, we're going to start bringing them over onto the chalk bar and moving the swings onto the chalk bar over a hard surface. So the first thing we're going to do is ask the gymnast to jump and grab the bar, and from there they're just going to hang nicely, and we're just going to teach them how to drop and land from the bar into a nice shape. This should prepare them how to swing and let go of the bar and dismount and land later on when we go through their swing. So we're going to jump deck up onto the bar again. First thing we're going to do is ask him to do the fish swings like we practice on gloves and loops. The main thing that we're going to focus on are his wrists shifting over the bar and re-grasping the bar in his dish. He's going to let go and land nicely down onto the floor. Once the gymnast has understood how to do their fish swings and they're re-grasping on top of the bar, we can then move on to the full swing. The full swing, the shapes are exactly the same as on the gloves and loops bar, so try and encourage them to keep the swings as similar to gloves and loops as possible. The main difference is when they're swinging at the back in their dish and their bar is in front of them, they're going to let go of the bar, re-grasp and then swing forwards. So we're going to do 3 swings. On the 3rd swing at the back, when Declan goes to re-grasp, he's going to let go of the bar, dismount and land down onto the hard surface. 1, 2, and 3. Well done. You noticed that I was holding Declan's hips the whole time, so make sure you're grabbing them, making sure they're secure all the way through their swings, all the way till the end. Once they've done this with you a few times, you can let them do this on their own, safely with a mat underneath the bar. So moving on from swings on the chalk bar, we're going to start having a look at how we can make the gymnast swing and do a half turn on the bar as well. So before we get started on the actual bar, we need to understand what way the gymnast is going to turn and what their preference is more likely going to be. So you can work this out if you understand which way the gymnast cartwheels. So put your arms up, step forwards. Declan steps forwards with his right leg. So he's going to cartwheel with his right leg forwards, which means he's going to take his left arm off the bar. If Declan has both arms up and steps forward with his left leg and he cartwheels with his left leg forwards, he's more likely going to take his right arm off the bar and turn towards his left. So it's really important to understand this. As the gymnasts go on the bar and they start turning, they'll want to turn the natural way which they should twist on the floor. Because we know Declan cartwheels with his right leg forwards, he's going to take his left hand off the bar and turn towards me. So we can start this down on the floor without any equipment at all. Declan's just going to bring his knees up and round his chest into a nice dish shape. He's going to roll over onto his knees towards me into this lovely dish shape with his back nice and round. So we'll do that one more time. Just rolls over, holds this shape and brings his knees over towards me and keeps his chest in. We're doing this with bent knees to start off with. It makes it easier for the gymnast to keep their chest in and move their hips across their body when they start their turn. Okay, so before we move them up onto the bar and get them swinging and turning, the gymnast needs to know the grips that they need to be holding onto the bar in. So the first grip they're going to be in is overgrasp. So this is where both hands are over the top of the bar. It's the normal grip that they're going to be swinging in. The next grasp they're going to have is mixed. So Declan's going to put his left hand under and his right hand over. And then at the end of the swinging half turn, they're going to return back into overgrasp after they've done their swinging half turn. Once we've got the gymnast on the floor, doing their pencil roll in a nice dish shape with their legs bent, and they understand the difference between overgrasp and mixed grip on the bar as well, we can bring them onto a setup like this, where we bring some mats up high, or we have a low bar on the floor. We can ask the gymnast to hold onto the bar to start off with in overgrasp with their knees up high. They can roll over, bring their legs across and finish into a nice mixed grip. We can ask them to pause in this shape and then finally tell him to change his hand into that overgrasp, which is what we want to see when they're doing their swinging half turn on the bar. So we're going to take the swinging half turn from laying on his back on the equipment down low on the floor up onto the high bar now. So Dec's going to jump up and hold onto the bar. We're going to ask him to bend his knees on purpose slightly, round his back in that nice dish shape. Dec's going to move his knees across, grab onto the bar into this nice mixed grip here. He's going to then turn his last hand over the top, so he's holding on in that overgrasp to finish. Once the gymnast has done this a few times, we can start to introduce a swing and put some equipment there to make sure it's nice and safe. Now we've done all the preps and the stages with the gymnast down low on the floor and just hanging on the bar, we can start to introduce a swing into the swing and half turn. So we can get a nice setup like this with 2 blocks, one nice safe soft mat on one side. So Dec's gonna jump his legs together, swing through, I'm gonna grab his hips, bring him round to stand onto the block. Once he's done that, we can ask him to change his hands over at the top into overgrasp. So we'll show you that one more time. Stands with his legs apart, arms nice and straight. He's gonna jump through, come through, grab his hips and place him onto the blocks. So once you've gone up onto the apparatus and you've supported the gymnast the whole way, you can come back down onto the floor, allow them to do most of the work up by themselves, and then you can just help them round in the last part of the turn onto the blocks. Once the gymnast has done this from straddle stand and they've jumped through and they're quite confident, we can get them to start swinging through, getting ready for their swinging half turn without your support. So we're going to do 2 swings. 1, 2, and turn onto the mats. So when the gymnasts start doing swinging half turns on the bar by themselves, you may find that they need to do an extra swing in between the hand change. So me and Dec are just going to demonstrate to you what that looks like. 1, so turn on this one. Extra swing and hand change, a swing and let go. Okay, so as you can see, he had that extra swing in between, which is completely normal and completely fine before they start trying to turn their hands all in the front swing. Once you've done the preps on the blocks, it will then be time to bring the gymnast up onto the high bar to do the full swinging half turn. Now to start off with, we're going to encourage the gymnast to bend their legs slightly because it's going to help them bring their body across round onto the bar. It also makes it a little bit easier if the gymnast starts with their hands a little bit closer together. If the gymnasts have their hands very wide, then it's quite difficult for them to get all the way round in their swinging half turn. So in a second, I'm going to support Dec by the hips, bringing him round to do his swinging half turn. He's going to do an extra swing, change his hands over to overgrasp, and then dismount and land onto the mat. 1, this time, 2. So that's the full swing. When they start to get confident, we can ask them to straighten their legs a little bit more and a little bit more. And in the end, we want the gymnast to be doing a full swinging half turn with lovely straight legs and pointed toes, holding that disc shape on the way up during the turn. So in the end, we can get the gymnast to do multiple swinging half turns. We can support them in both directions. So me and Dec are just going to show you how to get 2 swinging half turns going at the same time. Make sure you grab them by the hips and rotate them round one direction and then back in the other direction when you do the second. So swing on the hips and turn, swing on the hips and turn, and down. Once you've done this with the gymnast multiple times, they should then be able to start straightening their legs, doing the swinging half turn by themselves and making it look very nice for the judges. So providing that you follow all the steps and stages that we provided, the gymnast knows and understands what overgrasp is, mixed grip is, you teach them how to roll over nicely, they understand what shape they need to be in, and you as a coach understand how to support them round, you should be able to take the gymnast from being able to do their swings on the chalk bar and introduce a small swinging half turn underneath the bar. Once they've done it with their legs bent, again, try and ask them to straighten their knees as time goes on so they do it with lovely straight legs.